one of the things that I hope, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity for potentially students to see this before they come to the class. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have the face-to-face contact with students to have discussion. In my sessions, I leave a good bit of room for questions, for answers, for odd things, new scenarios. I find those very, very interesting and very challenging.
Welcome to Sci Focus by Biopatrika. Myself, Dr. Taraneet Kaur, your host for today. Today we are having our guest, Professor Carl Anderson. Professor Carl Anderson is Director of Duquesne University Center for Pharmaceutical Technology. I welcome you, sir, here on the behalf of Biopatrika.
Thank you.
Sir,
I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. Can you briefly tell us about yourself and your current work, please?
Sure. In addition to being the director for the Duquesne Center for Pharmaceutical Technology, I'm currently the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Programs here at Duquesne University, which leaves me in a position of being responsible for the graduate students, their education, and the experience they have while they work at Duquesne University. I'm also a professor in the pharmaceutics discipline, and specifically, my research programs revolve around process analytical technology, or PAT. I have a strong program in PAT for solid oral dosage forms that includes continuous processing. We also work on PAT for upstream MAB production using mammalian cells. We use tools in that research like Raman, capacitance spectroscopy, soft sensors, that out of common measurements, and imaging as a way of tracking the progress and maintaining healthy cultures for optimum yields. I also do work in something called performance-based quality specifications, and it's the idea of basing the evaluation of quality of a drug product or a tablet on how it actually performs in the patient. So designing both the manufacturing process, the in-process tests, and the final quality tests such that they reflect directly how that dosage form will perform in the patient, rather than doing a simple say dissolution test and relying on an IV/IVC to relate that to the ultimate patient experience. So that's a summary of my roles and my work here at Duquesne.
It was great and amazing to listen about it. It's marvelous. Sir, which topic you will be covering in this course series?
Excellent. Well, I'm very pleased and excited to be teaching with Dr. Rotor in his PAT course. My part of the course will focus on the actual analytical tools, and not just the tools themselves, but the way that we need to assess those tools before we use them. In other words, it's very easy to say near infrared is good for monitoring blending. Okay, that's fine. But what are the important aspects of the instrument that we apply as we select that near infrared instrument, as we choose near infrared at all? Those are the kind of focuses that will be in the first part of the course that I'm in, and those will be focused largely on small molecules. Dr. Rotor, of course, is a great expert in the bio realm, and I hope to fill in as best I can in his course with the small molecule aspect of things. And then after we've talked about that, what we'll do is take that basic knowledge of the PAT tools and then go through a series of case studies. My case studies will focus on applying PAT to basic solid oral dosage form manufacturing. We'll go through blending, granulation, tableting, and then an example of a case study, rather, of continuous manufacturing and the role PAT plays in that particular operation. So what I hope is, after we've done all of these things, students will have not only this idea of what are the important aspects of PAT tools, but how to select the PAT tools, and then some examples of how those PAT tools can be applied in a very real life setting.
Yeah, it sounds interesting and exciting. Sir,
I'm very happy to have the chance.
we also are like privileged to have you. Sir, also I like to know what a young scholar or a PhD student be expecting, what he or she should be expecting from this course.
Excellent. Well, for my part, most of the people in attendance I would expect are familiar with the basic ideas of PAT. They're familiar with the basics of the tools. But what I hope to do is focus their attention on specific aspects as they interact with the manufacturing process and with our ability to control the manufacturing process. I've been both in the pharmaceutical industry and in academia for over 25 years now. And what I hope to do is bring some of that experience to the students and give them the opportunity to dive a little bit deeper into the nuances of those tools and to perhaps maybe show them some facets of that work that they hadn't thought about before and give them some cause to think about that as they do their own work in their own institutions.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice. Sir, are you also looking for some networking opportunities with the attendees and different participants in this course?
Well, of course, I'm always looking for opportunities to expand my scientific network. Much of my career, well, all of my career has been based on collaborations with different manufacturers, different scientists, different instrument vendors. I've had a broad range of collaborations, and I find that is a very, very important part of my career, and it's one of the more rich and satisfying parts of the career as well. So, in addition to meeting new people, I'm also always hoping to find new students who have not yet earned their PhD, but are looking to get out and to find a way to earn their PhD. So, I guess you could call it recruitment, networking, teaching, all of those things all at once.
Exactly. Thank you for your answer. Sir, at last, I like to ask you how you feel that the study and the student participants would be benefited from this entire course series.
And thank you for that question. I really do appreciate that. There's the obvious part of this, right? I have some material. I'm going to share material with them, and I hope that some of the material is new to them. And I hope that we'll have a deeper understanding of the tools for process analytical technology and maybe a deeper appreciation of their application. But beyond that, one of the things that I hope, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity for potentially students to see this before they come to the class, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have the face-to-face contact with students to have discussion. In my sessions, I leave a good bit of room for questions, for answers, for odd things, new scenarios. I find those very, very interesting and very challenging. And so I hope students will bring with them these new and interesting questions that we can discuss, and maybe we can, as a group, find some new approaches to these things.
It sounds exciting. Like having a discussion, interactive sessions in terms of course series would be like very helpful. And in terms, it will also let students to express more of their concerns and questions with you. Will be good. Yes, I totally understand. Being myself a PhD scholar, like it will be a great opportunity for the scholars to grab. Really.
Exactly. And I that interaction with students is my favorite part of teaching. I can construct what I want to say and I can show basics, but it's always much more interesting to hear what the students have to say about it.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure to have you, sir, here. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for sparing time for us. We are really looking forward to your session in the CBT course series. Thank you so much.
And thank you. It's been a very nice opportunity to share some of a preview of what's coming. And I love the idea of perhaps the students getting a chance to see a little bit of what's coming before it's actually here. And so thank you very much for that opportunity.